In this lesson, we'll add a parts table. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to add a parts table to a detailed drawing and modify a component description. In Fusion 360, we're going to carry on with our utility knife for drawing creation file. From here, we're going to add a secondary view and then a parts table. So to add another view, we're going to go up to our drawings view on the toolbar and select base view. From here, we have the option to create a new reference. We already have one from our storyboard, so in this case I'm going to use Create New and pull it directly from the assembly. The representation is going to be the model, and then the orientation I'll again use the Drawing EXP named view. I'm going to use the same scale, and I'm going to use the same visible edges option, and again use all the other settings exactly as we did for the exploded view. I'm simply going to place this in the bottom left hand corner and say OK. So now we have a drawing or a design that has both the assembled and the exploded view. One thing you'll notice is that the decal is not displayed in this design. If we double click and we change the style to be shaded, and then we close this, you can see that with the shaded model with all full colors and reflections that we are seeing that decal. So also another important point to keep in mind is that those decals are not seen unless we use the shaded representation. From here, we now want to add a parts table, which will help us identify the components in this design. Note in the browser that we now have two views. We have our view from the storyboard and the one from the design. We can select either one since they're both the same as a reference for our parts table. In this case, I'll simply select the utility knife for drawing view that comes from the design, go to Tables and select Table. The table can be anchored in various locations, or it can be freestanding inside of the sheet. We can anchor it to the upper right or left corners, the bottom left, or we can anchor it directly above our title block. In this case, I'll anchor it directly to the title block, and note that it puts the item, quantity, part number, description, and material headings at the bottom of the list. If we were to anchor it at the top, then it would place those at the top. Once we have this parts list, we'll notice that several item numbers are displayed, as well as balloons, and then the descriptions and materials. While the materials have been applied and the part numbers are based on the name of the component, the descriptions are all empty. The description values come back from the assembly. So if we go back to the design workspace, and we take a look at the blade, for example. If we right-click on it and we go to Properties, at the top of Properties we have part number, part name, and description. For our part number, I'm simply going to enter a value of 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the description, I'm going to put razor blade. Let's go ahead and OK that change. Let's save the file, which is going to give us a new version, version 3, and navigate back to the drawing. We're prompted in the bottom right-hand corner as well as in the upper left-hand corner that the drawing is now out of date. While it's not strictly required that we select a new version, if we want the update to take place, we will have to click one of these icons and update it to the most current version of the design. In this case, version 3. Now, if we take a look at the parts list, you'll see that the part number is now displayed as 1, 2, 3, 4, and the description now reads razor blade. So using those options will allow us to modify the description, the part number, and the part name of any of our components in the design. This is again done at the component level by right-clicking on them and going to Properties, but it must be done back inside the design. So any changes will require a save of a new version of the design, and then you'll need to update the drawing. From here, let's make sure that we do save our drawing before moving on to the next lesson.